Jazakum Allah khair. Welcome to ATD. It's a privilege and an honor to be here. I attended the ATD back in Florida in 2012. That was my first time, where I met amazing people. Ken Blanchard, Jack Zinger, Marshall Goldsmith, two people who endorsed my book, Prevail, the #1 bestseller. And from there, I inspired that I will be speaking in ATD one time. And guess what? In Kuwait, alhamdulillah. So continue to believe and stay positive as we go through this bit challenging agenda. So as L&D, let's think all as L&D champion. Let's forget about our roles. This is what we do. We think differently from what the management believes that we need to add value. So they think we need to deliver a number of trainings. You have this person, fix him. He doesn't communicate well, doesn't lead well, he's doing this, doing that, and people are not too broken to fix. And this is where we start. We start judging people, and we shouldn't be judging anyone. So how we convince them of the way we think and the way we do business as L&D, as HR in general. And by the way, I don't like the word HR because we're not resources, we are people. So let's help them to think differently. So we need to align the stakeholders' expectations, buying or getting buy-in from the stakeholders so that we have a common language. I'm not that energetic because I'm hungry too, okay? So the only way to do it is to bring their desire and our aspiration together through a concept that is forgotten, a learning organization. I personally been implementing this since the day I joined Bobyan in February 2021. And so far, it's not going so well, but I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. In order to do that, we'll be following some concepts. I know we're not on the same, technically, on the same page. However, we're going to touch base on what needs to be done to bring alignment throughout the audience and also to build alignment among us. The last point is my bet. I always focus on getting buy-in from stakeholders. I'm certified as a coach stakeholder, just to make sure that we get their buy-in. In order to do so, we need to know, why do you think, or why do you believe that I can tell you something that really matters? I introduce myself as a learning fanatic and a change agent, a learning champion. This can go for all of us. It doesn't make any sense. But what I'm really proud of is that I keep striving and fighting and talking business to the business people to bring them on board on what we want to do and change. What I think was my recipe to success in different organizations that I worked for in a very short time, that I think I put myself in their shoes. I think what it matters for them matters for me, or matters for us. And from then, we need to make sure that whatever we do makes sense in reality and it has long-term effect. So basically, what is your business? What is a differentiator? Is it product, leadership, like Apple, for example? Or is it customer intimacy, Amazon, or efficiency or price leadership, like Walmart? Do we really know our business? Do we talk this language back at our office? And how does this all come to value to the customer? How is it perceived as value to customer? How is it reflected throughout our employees and our investors, stakeholders, community, you name it? If we consider this, then we have something to talk about, and we will be credible from the leader's point of view. Most of us, in training, we're in the basement, right? We're somewhere outcast. We have free food, free lunch. I know they don't write it in their contract, but you get it, okay? However, they see you as more of doer, You stay late at night, you work hard, you do everything perfectly. At the end, you can be you are easily to be replaced, but not the business. The business cannot be replaced. So, in order to have that mindset of bringing value throughout the organization, autonomously, okay, we will focus on the learning organization. So what is the learning organization? Basically, an organization that helps itself to be agile, learn, capture learning, change, and building personal masteries within its employees. So they don't wait for L&D to train them, or the training department. They don't wait for the management to push them to do certain training or to be promoted. They would rather self-encouraged, self-motivated to make things out of themselves and of their time. You all know Kirkpatrick. Let's do an exercise. How many of us measures level 1? Some people not raising their hand. Allah yastir. No? Okay, everybody, I hope so. Okay. And how many of us measures level 2? The learning captured. Okay. For every training that we do? Yes? Great. Okay. Level 3. Okay, let me explain it. So level 1 basically is the happy sheet, the feedback sheet. Right? Were you happy in the training? Yes. You enjoyed it? Yes. Mumtaz. Food was good. It's not in our sheet, by the way. It's not in our sheet. So that's why it goes down. And the knowledge capture, basically the assessment. Any type of assessment, validation that you learn something. Level 3 is how I apply my learning. And how to do that. How many of us do it to begin with? Pardon? Behavioral change. Okay. So how can it be observed? Industry. Okay. Okay. The program, the industry, sales is easy, you're right. Very easy.
Leadership is 360 degrees.
Okay, you're cheating. It's 360. I did my Six Sigma on leadership development. Six Sigma, as you remember. 3 years, it took me 3 years to ensure that whatever we did as development made really a major change in their behavior. Level 4 is what is the business outcome? So you are right, let's take an example. Training on sales, they were happy. They did the assessment, they went there, they did very well in their score, and they sold well. Level 5 is the overall value. How is it sustainable? Are we pushing the lines? I know, like, not even 20% are reaching to level 2 or 3. And whose mistake is this? HR? بعد anyone else? HR. Leaders. It's us. You're right. It's us. Okay, and we remain to be human resources and operational if we let others perceive us this way. Right? So we need to take the ownership and show the people that we are more. Because we are more. We're not less intelligent, and we have enough tools in this time to implement. So before we jump into the action, we just need time to plan. Right? And Kirkpatrick, before he passed away, he said, think end in mind. End in mind. What you want to achieve and what you want to develop. But we never do that. Okay? And we go back again to the dilemma that we have. If a CEO comes to you and tells you, what training do you want? He will tell you that I need you to do this 1, 2, 3 training. You want to see the actual event while you're thinking long term. If you talk to them in that manner, things will be different. Maybe not all the way to level 4 and 5, but at least to level 3 and 2. So basically, we need to matter what really matters. This is a small, just an application of the 4 levels. I'll move away from the pictures. I don't know. I will ruin the pictures. I'm staying away for a minute. This, goes very well with coaching and mentoring. So if you're doing coaching and mentoring, make sure that you have the right infrastructure, the right skills, and people who can do it properly, right? Because we have people to coach, like for example, in my bank, I told them, please stop coaching, it is not coaching. You're doing mentoring, a little bit of training, شوية, يعني maybe abusing, شوية, خلاص, enough. We're good, we're great. Okay, we're gonna do better, inshallah, but so it turned enough by itself. So when we say we are learning and development, are we a learning and development, or are we actually training department? Right? Or a training coordinator, maybe, right? So let's see this. Training, teaching a person a particular skill or behavior, while learning is acquiring a knowledge skill. So it's a little bit more, right? It's a short term. Short term, this is very short term. Okay, the shortest term. Okay? This is when you become, doing things, with passion. Long term is definitely long. It happens actually short term and long term. But I want to make it fancy, so I made some distinction. Definitely it's an immediate need because it's training. We need to do something now. I need to learn how to drive, how to, ride a motorcycle. So no, I do it now. This is so excited, it's hungry. I want to go back. Let's see all the tricks, all the answers. Okay. مشكلة, this is all on camera. This is the problem. So immediate need, now it's more of career development. It's more career development. It's passive because the damage is already done. While learning is actually something you aspire for, something you want to learn, not really now, maybe for the future. Like for me, for example, I'm aspiring to learn more on PowerPoint because I'm not doing very well. Okay, passive, active, growth mindset. How come everyone is talking about growth mindset? Well, but what we're actually neglecting growth mindset. We expect people to change. Well, actually, we are living, at the old ages. And I like this term. I didn't make it up, but I like it. Absorb like a sponge. And this is what happens to us all our life. Education, right? We're trying to be more of a light bulb, where there is no horizon. Okay? It's limitless what you do with learning. So we say that we are learning and development, but are we actually learning and development department or team or a professional? So what do we do with the learning? We learned learning. We're going to be here. We repent from all the bad behaviors that we did, and now we're going to do well. Before we go to the performance, there is a concept, scrap learning, that learning that is wasted. Okay, and that's what's very good, the training I had in 2016. And it basically divides the learning experience and implementation into 3 elements. First is the individual, him or herself. Second is the leader, direct leader. And third is the environment. Basically, the department, the area, the office, the setup. And why is that important? Because as per the performance formula, it's multiplication of motivation, ability, and environment. Where ability can be competency, can be the person, and can be the leader. While environment is also with the hands of the leader. And motivation can go 50-50. According to the motivation theory, it goes 50-50. 50% with the individual and 50% with the leader. So after doing all of the training, and we moved into the learning universe, still my learning or all my efforts will be wasted into 3 different categories or 3 different elements. The individual might waste it, might decide not to implement anything, or The leader doesn't really give any support or coach or mentor, or the environment is actually not really helping. Why am I going there from the beginning? Okay, and it's the leader's fault. It's not the individual's fault. Now, since everything falls under the leader's, authority, what kind of leader do we have? What is the leadership brand of your organization? Do they have a purpose? Do they have clear values? Vision? Can they tell a story? Do they have a story? Can they connect? Can they aspire? Can they influence? And do they know what they stand for to begin with? Individuals and as a group. Is it clear? Is it matching with the value creation of the department or the organization? More of a product leadership, customer intimacy, what have you? Is it all matching with the value we bring to the customers and to the employees? In order to answer those questions, we need to check these 3 items. People or leaders in your organization, do they make people believe in themselves by matching their values with organization values, or at least the team values? Do they know if they have values to begin with? Or do we know what value really means? Okay. Can the employees become aware of what they want to do in life so that they will be motivated to change and to learn? Do they really want to belong and be part and be engaged of the team or the vision that you have? And once they engage, they will perform. Because our main title in the organization, having sustainable by itself through the learning organization, learning, what we're checking, performance. And this is what performance really means. I refer to this, yes, in my book, because it's limitless. The self-actualization is actually unlimited, right? We all need food here. Oh, there is pointer. Oh no. And there is safety. It's all clear. But as you go higher, then we demand more, we achieve more, and there is no limit. I remember my story. Once I want to be an entrepreneur. I changed my mind. I want to be a millionaire. I couldn't reach it. I wanted to be an organization. I wanted to be this, and that. Okay? And this reality what happens. But what this really means that the potential is unlimited. Once you know what's your brand and what you live for and what are your values. You cannot expect your leaders to be at the safety and security and you expect from them to coach and mentor and be an inspiration for others, right? If you're not sure which level each of your leaders are or in, then basically you're mismatching. If I'm worried about being part of the clan, belonging, or I'm an outcast, and then you ask me to inspire and having a learning organization, if they're polite, they'll kick you out of the office, okay? And sometimes I tell people I have, I play karate. They don't know I have white belt, but they still consider it serious. So they take me serious a bit. If we ask everyone to do an exceptional job, we need to make sure that everyone is on the self-actualization. And it's not about the title. It's about awareness and well-being. In order for us as L&D to lead others and influence others, we need to lead ourselves. As per the Prevail leadership model, the leadership triangle is about having a vision, competence, and driving change in people, not in performance. So as L&D, what is our vision? And are we competent enough? Do we have the skills? Do we have the team ability to do what is desired? And are we fulfilled? Is it matching our values? Are we able to deliver in spite of all the challenges that we might face and we are facing? Are we willing to change the way we do things and be perceived differently? Rock the boat and be an example for the organization to take us seriously. If you're stuck, you can either call me, okay, or just follow the leadership model, which is need to make sure that as individuals, as learning fanatics, be able to lead ourselves and be a role model of learning and contribution and passion. Be able to talk their language to influence them according to our agenda, and lead the team and the organization to reach fulfillment, which is delivering the organizational value, strategy, and to the community. So I will ask you now, what is your legacy? This is the end of my presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot it, please. And if you want to visit my website or know more about the book, this is the QR code. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Abdulaziz?
تفضل.
Please. By the time he gets it there, over there. Oh. Yeah. I have a question by the time he gets there. You said learner and trainer.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is learner self-learning, or is it like being proactive, rather trainer as a closed mindset, waiting for somebody to take them to training? And then
well, basically, you're right. Now, how I define training and learning is training happening at one time in a specific place, while learning happens all the time and by everyone. So definitely when you're getting trained either by e-learning or someone actually delivering a training, even one-to-one. While the learning can be anything.
Awesome.
With no specific agenda.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, sir, for the presentation. I just have a question about the measuring the training evaluation of the Kirkpatrick and the other ways of doing it.
Yes.
To be honest, I think also when you ask the question who does number 1 and level 1, 2, 3, maybe when we reach to 3, people started to be, I like the second stage. The thing is, to be honest, since like maybe 3 years, 4 years, when I was like working on some projects related to the Kirkpatrick, like I see that somehow this is not the future, the way of evaluating training programs in the future. What I can see, we need to change. Okay, Kirkpatrick, thank you. We need to look for something else now. From your point of view, how do you see the future of evaluating trainings? Because now it's not only about money. I mean, sometimes it's also about, of course, I'm looking for investment return, but in the same time, I'm also looking into results orientations at the same time. So to me, my point of view, in the coming years, this model will be an old school. We need to look for another way. But I just need to know, what is your views of the future, if you don't mind?
Definitely. So thank you for the question. I do everything according to competencies. I still believe in that. So what is the leadership competencies? What are your technical competencies? Because if you do more of the right things, you'll get the right results. So I'm not a pro of KPIs. I don't like KPIs. I don't like that you measure me based on the results, because I don't own the results. I own myself, okay, to high level, to some level. So basically, if I come to work and I do the things that you want me to do, then I should be, rewarded for it. But I cannot control what other people might perceive or might accept. And that's why sometimes you do a lousy job and your manager is happy. Sometimes you do the opposite and he's not happy, because you cannot control people. Building from that sense, a training will remain a training, but there are other aspects, other tools, like now e-learning and hybrid and what have you, because similar to the education system, it will always be there. And it's good because it gives discipline. It has its flavor. However, how much of it we want to do? If we go to the 10, 20, 70, learning of 10% training, whatever the training is, or learning, and then 20% coaching and mentoring, and 70% on the job, how well we're doing this back, whether it's chiropractic or anything else. So I think this is the right question that we should ask. And how is it matching your values? So for example, when I used to be at Kuwait, they're engineers. They like things to be done in a certain process, certain way, long training hours. In Bobyan, we changed that. It's more shorter. It's more of a hackathon because it matches our culture, it matches our values. So the learning is the same, it's just the mean is different and how is it related to you. And then we can measure how much is delivering the right results or not. Hope I answered. Assalamu
alaikum. Thank you for the presentation. Before I ask my question, maybe I'll share something in our organization. So a few years back, we introduced an e-learning system in the company. And we used a push strategy. So we assigned the e-learning courses to the individuals. And it was not very successful.
Yes.
Recently, we launched another e-learning system. But we used the pull strategy. So we asked the employee to register, if they are interested, to see if they are interested. So in the beginning, we found like 7% only who registered. So maybe we said they are not aware about it. So we did more marketing, more awareness, and the percentage reached 12% only.
Okay.
So again, it was not very successful. Now, in a large size organization, how do you, what's your advice? Because the top management are aligned, they are aware about it, they are very supportive, but maybe when it is cascaded to the lower level, the message is not reaching there. So what's your advice on this?
Okay. May I know which organization are you looking for?
OQ.
And what is?
Oil and gas.
Oil and gas. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would recommend, before jumping into a solution like usually training departments do, including myself, let's check the audience, what do they want? Because we're good at getting alignment with the management, and then we'll go cutting costs. Yalla, everyone trained. But then we see there is no response. So either you're penalizing them for not doing it, and you are a criminal, part of the crime, okay, but you're okay with it because life is not perfect. Or you can do it differently by asking them what will be the right way, but there will be consequences. So include them, also engage them. Any last question?
One more last question. Okay, we go eat on the ground floor, Salt Restaurant. See you then. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you. Thank you, Abdulaziz.
وياك أهلا وسهلا.